Welcome to the Appalachian Heritage Woodshop, woodworking with an Appalachian flair.
Hey, this is Jerill Vance with the Appalachian Heritage Woodshop. I've had a request for a shop tour. I'm not a big fan of those, but I do know a lot of people have asked for it, and I do enjoy seeing other people's shops. So I thought I'd give you a quick shop tour of the Appalachian Heritage Woodshop today. Okay, right here we have a floor model drill press. I use it quite a bit. And I have a cabinet right beside it where I keep all my drill accessories. Right next to that I have a mortising machine. If you notice, I've built a platform to raise it up so the top of this is flush with the workbench behind me. Over here in the corner I have a storage system for some necessary hardware, nuts and bolts. Here is my radial arm saw, and I'm sure you all can tell I don't have my dust collection set up to it yet. Right over here is my miter saw, and again I don't have the dust collection hooked up to it yet. I'm working on that. Here's my sharpening system. All of that is built into a bank of drawers that I made out of scrap wood, and it's just where I store some of the hand tools and some of the other items I use here in the shop. This is my sanding center right here, and as you can see it's pretty full. I have an oscillating spindle sander. I have a small belt sander behind it, and here's a belt and disc sander, and here's a downdraft sanding table, and I've got a lot of hand sanding equipment underneath there. Eventually I'll reorganize this and build a better, bigger workbench to hold all this, but this is what I've got for right now. This is my safety cabinet. This is where I keep all my hearing protection, my dust respirators, first aid kit, safety glasses, and all my safety equipment there. Here I have a oscillating belt sander. I really like this. It works good. I use it a lot when I'm fitting inset doors. Another cabinet which I made when I got my degree in woodworking, and this contains a lot of sanding equipment in it. This is a cabinet my nephew built for me. I use it to store a lot of the very small screws and bolts that I need for the specific hardware I use in building the furniture. Okay, here's a lot of the spring-loaded clamps that I use. I've got clamp tape, special three-way clamps, some framing clamps, some screw clamps. Here's some F-body clamps, quick grip clamps. My K-body clamps go here. They're currently on a project. My pipe clamps are over here. I have some C-clamps and some specialty face frame clamps and some pocket hole clamps down here. And then I've got a milk crate of miscellaneous band clamps. And I've got a couple extra pipes for pipe extensions for my pipe clamps. Over here I've got some more band clamps and some straight guide clamps. This is my sanding buffing machine. I have a pneumatic drum that goes on here, which I don't have mounted yet. And this is a mop sander, which I really like. I can sand contours without actually changing the contour. And I've got it connected to a dust collection system, so it works really good. This is my 25-inch double drum sander. I use this a lot. It is a big time saver. It creates a tremendous amount of dust, so as you can see I have a big dust collection trunk line coming to it, which handles all the dust. This is a must for any shop that does a lot of fine grade furniture. These are the toolboxes I use to store all my mechanical tools in, and I have quite a bit hanging up here on the wall, just trying to get organized to be a little bit more efficient. I've got my compressor tucked away under my wood rack, and I've got my air hose on a retractable reel, so I can pull this out to wherever I need to use it. This is a wood rack. This is where I store the leftover wood from various projects. Those that know me know that I have a wood storage shed on the back of my farm, and I keep probably about 8,000 board feet of different kinds of hardwood. This is my Cyclone dust collection system. I really love this. It's a 7-inch trunk line inlet, and the chips fall down and go into this 55-gallon drum, and the fines go out the back. Once the drum is full, I take them out and put them on a trailer that I keep out back, and when the trailer's full, then I take it to a place on my farm and dump it and compost it. This is my dedicated finishing area. I've got a flammables cabinet, which my insurance company requires, and I keep my flammables stored in there. And then I have another storage cabinet up here, which the non-flammables are stored in. And I have another rack over here with all my water-based finishes on that. Eventually, as you can see back there, I've got a place. Eventually, I'll have an exhaust fan, an explosion-proof exhaust fan there, so I'll be able to spray in here. This is my workbench area. Right now, I've got a bench clamped onto it. The glue is drying, but this is where I do most of my handwork right here. This is just a few of the hand saws I use. A couple of them I have are in a toolbox down at Heritage Farm Museum and Village, where I go down there and demonstrate. But these are the ones that I use when I do my handwork. This is the scroll saw I use. I really like this one. I don't do a lot of scroll sawing, but when I do, this is where I do it. This is where I keep all my glues. And when I do glue up, I usually just grab a basket or the little drawer with all my brushes and accessories and take it to wherever I'm going. So this works pretty good. This is a molding machine. I use this whenever I make custom molding for some of the furniture I build. I really like this machine. It's very easy to operate. This is my large 19-inch bandsaw. This is one that I use mostly for resawing. I really like it. It does an excellent job. This is my 14-inch bandsaw, which I use for general bandsaw contour sawing. You can see I've removed the original switch, which was a toggle switch, and installed a magnetic switch. I keep a little light here with a magnetic base so I can see what I'm sawing. And of course, this is hooked up to dust collection, as is my 19-inch bandsaw. I've got the two saws back to back with one trunk line running to it because I only use one saw at a time. This is where I keep all my blades for my bandsaws and the blades for my scroll saws. This is my dovetail. It's a Porter Cable Omni Jig. When I have a job making a lot of dovetails, unless the client specifies hand cut, I'll use this machine right here. I really like it. This is my shaper. This is a very old Rockwell Delta shaper. I really like it. I use it a lot for raised panels and stiles and rails. I've got a router table built into the side table of my table saw that I have dedicated for a dado. For right now, this is what I'm using. Later on, I'll build a dedicated router table, but this seems to work pretty good. This is my lathe. As you can see, it's a big floor model lathe. I bought this new back in the 1980s. I really like it. It does a good job. It has a guard on top of it. And of course, I always wear a face mask when I'm turning also. This is the area that I keep all of my screws and nuts and bolts and nails in. It's kind of chaotic right now. I'm coming up with a storage system. Basically, I've got too much for the small area I have here, but I will get it organized. This is a storage rack that I've got where I keep all of my extra routers, saws, drills, any of the woodworking equipment that I need, the handheld woodworking equipment. It works really good. I like it. There's a lot of storage in this one little unit. This is my joiner. It is an Oliver 10-inch helical head joiner. It's a really, really nice machine. Of all the machines I have, this is probably my favorite. This is my planer. It's a Powermatic 20-inch helical head planer. I've had it for several years. I really like it. It's one of the best planers I've ever used.